The surprise may be that your date is physically blind. What are you going to do? Or is it just simply that you don't know not anything about your blind date? So stick around until the end, because I'm going to share with you how you can handle these situations and have a great, did I say great? Have a wonderful date. Well, lovebirds, welcome to Ask the Loveologist. I'm April, your favorite loveologist. April the loveologist, guiding hearts to hello, lovebirds. I'm April the loveologist. I'm a certified matchmaker, a certified love coach, and the president and CEO at Authentic Love, where interracial relationships are our number one priority. I'll see you on the inside. Now, I recently came across a fellow matchmaker. Your favorite color is black? Okay, sounds like classy and sexy too. Okay. I recently came across a matchmaker whom I thought was quite interesting. Her specialty is blind dates. And when I say blind dates, oh yeah, blind dates. Because she does not share photos. You know, most of us matchmakers, when we're trying to match people up, we actually have photos of both persons, but we will show the photo to the other person. She doesn't do that. It's a blind date. She doesn't tell you much information about the person either, because she says she wants you to get to know this person for themselves without her putting in a lot of input that may sway you. So she wants you to be safe. So she'll definitely tell you about maybe their height, maybe their hair color, or if they wear glasses, because she wants you to be able to recognize the person. But she seriously believes in blind dates. And I just thought that was quite interesting. So my question to you tonight is this: who do you trust to set you up on a blind date? Now, I have only one family that I would trust to set me up on a blind date. And it doesn't matter if it's the husband or the wife, just one. Because you have to know me to set me up on a blind date. So I want to start off by talking about dating someone with a physical disability. Because, you know, being blind is a physical disability. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I want to touch on it a little bit because I started out talking about the fact that your date could physically be blind. In August of 2022, I did a whole entire broadcast where I talked about dating someone with a physical disability. And in case you didn't know, there is a very strong, very huge subculture of couples who are dating or married, and at least one of them has a physical disability. So let me just point this out to you as well. We are not the type of book that you want to judge by its cover. Because you see, you might see me out and I'll have my walker or I might have my cane, but what you don't know is I can run. And when I tell people I go up and down stairs, they stop, they freeze. Whatever they're doing, they stop. So again, you can't judge us like a book, but you can't judge us by the cover of the book. My favorite niece was proposed to when she was in a wheelchair and paralyzed. So if you find yourself dating someone or you meet someone who is of interest and they have a physical disability, it requires two main highly important things for you to have a successful relationship. One is the same thing we talked about last week: patience. The second one is the same thing we talk about every week: open and honest communication. And for those of you out there who are always saying, where are all the good men? Where are all the good women? Then this is a demographic of people that you may want to open your mind and your heart to, because you never know. That person with that disability may possibly be the person who goes on a date with you and you have the best date you've ever had. So, yes, we're talking about blind dates, and your date could possibly be physically blind. So, go ahead, enlarge your options of choices and put that out there as well. One of the things that I have for you this evening that I would like for you to check out is 5 vibrant spots to connect with your forever partner. Yes, 5 vibrant spots that you can connect with your forever partner. And that is right there on the screen, and there's the link to it as well. So yes, this will tell you 50 vibrant spots that you can connect with your forever partner. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about some things that are, let's say, basic or across the board when you're doing a blind date. First off, whoever the person is that is setting you up on the blind date, you want to get from them as much information as possible. You know, sometimes people want to tell you stuff, but sometimes they don't. But your job is to get as much information as you can possibly get. And one of the things that I feel like you really need to ask is, what motivates you to want to set me up with this particular person? You know, you kind of want to know what they might think that the two of you have in common, or what they may think is going to make the two of you actually kick it off real good. Another thing you might want to ask is, would you at least tell me what culture they're from? And again, you want to get as much information from this person as you possibly can. So that's going to require you to ask some questions according to what, what inspires you about trusting them to go on a blind date. The next thing I want to talk about is your expectations for this blind date. How high are your expectations? Are you just really got outlandish things on your mind that you think are going to come out of this date? Or do you have in your mind that, blind date? So what I want to do here is share with you this. Don't have any real big, outrageous expectations. Just be open. Be prepared to be pleasantly surprised. Be prepared to laugh and have fun. Be in the moment. Enjoy the date. And by all means, when you see them, please don't show disappointment on your face if you have disappointment. Now, I know my face talks. It doesn't matter. It talks. So you may need to talk to your face before you go into the door or before you go to the venue, and tell your face it's got to calm down. Okay? But be ready to have fun. Be in the moment. Pay attention. And don't be worrying about where is this going. Pay attention to this person. Give them your attention just like you would someone that you already knew things about beforehand. Because if you don't give them your attention, you're not going to learn about them. And I know how some of you girls are. Your mind is already wandering. I wonder what they think this is going to be. Is this the one? And all of this and that and the other. Just calm it down. Be in the moment. Pay attention. And give them your undivided attention. Also, as you would in any other date, take care of your phone. Put your phone on vibrate. And, I know some of you have children, or you may be taking care of elderly parents, and you want to be prepared in case there's an emergency, just like any other date. In the beginning, just let them know. But go ahead and put your phone on vibrate, because you don't need to know about every notification. You just need to know about the important ones. So I'm going to stop here for a minute and check out the chat, because it seems to be moving quite a bit over there. It says, is it a disability or a beautiful quality where the person can see the authentic person? I really like the way you put that. A beautiful quality where the person can see the authentic person. Yes, it is a beautiful quality. So like I said, you want to get as much information from the person that you can possibly get from them. Like I said, just don't have those outrageous expectations, but be ready to be pleasantly surprised, and be ready to have fun and laugh. And you can say some funny things as well. Just remember, both of you are probably quite nervous. So go ahead and say some things that are funny so that you can break the ice if that's what needs to be happening. And don't show any disappointment on your face. You can actually just go ahead, as we have just said, be authentic and say, I've never dated a blind person before. So share with me how I can help you or not help you. Or you can say that however that works for you. But the point here is for you to let them know that you're available to help them out, but you don't want to overstep your bounds if they don't need your assistance. And when it comes to how you want to dress for this blind date, make sure that you select an outfit that you're going to be comfortable in. Not something that's too tight or too big where you're going to be pulling on it or shaking or whatever is going on. Make sure that you have something comfortable. And as I always share with you young ladies, be sure that you carry those ballet slippers in your purse. If the guy thinks you're wonderful and he wants to go from maybe a coffee date to dinner, then you want to be comfortable if you need to take those off. But be sure that whatever you're wearing, that you're comfortable, it fits good, and you look exceptionally good. Before you go to the place, especially if it's a place that you've never been before, it's a great idea for you to Google the place so that you know also how far away it is, so you can get your timing together. You can get there early rather than late. You can pay attention to the traffic as well as check out the menu. So when you get there, you don't spend a lot of time hem-hawing over the menu and what you're going to order and what you're not going to order. And that gives you more time to communicate with your date and get to know them. Because you might find out, what are they going to order, but you already have in mind what you would like. And who knows, you may want to change to what they're getting. But check out these things ahead of time. When it comes to a blind date, it's enough stress or pressure that you don't know the person. So let's relieve some of those things that could be challenges before you get to the date. So like I said, Google the place, look at their menu, be prepared. Also, you can have in mind a list of topics that you could bring up to talk about. And you want to be flexible. And if you're concerned about not having topics that you could talk about, or you're concerned that they're going to talk about something you don't know about, then you can go on Google and just see what are some trending topics for the day, or what has been trending for the month or the year, so that you have just a little bit of knowledge of these things, so that you can actually discuss them. But you also want to be able to ask some follow-up questions if they're telling you about a certain thing, especially if they're telling you about one of their favorite hobbies or something. Maybe it's something you know something about, but if you don't, you want to be able to have some very good follow-up questions so that you can get to know more about the person. And I'm going to tell you, that is one way that I am able to carry on a conversation with anybody about anything. I know a lot. I know about a lot of things, but I know a little bit about a lot of things. So, this is one way for you to definitely be able to carry on a good conversation, especially with someone that you just met for the first time. I'm going to go over here and check out these comments again. The question here says, should you acknowledge and ask about their blindness, or simply wait until they share if they do? My suggestion would be for you to actually ask about it. And if you can tell they're uncomfortable talking about it, then don't say anything else about it. But what I encourage people to do, just like I encourage you to learn about a person's culture when you're dating interracially, this is something that you want to learn about as well. But this is your first initial date. So I wouldn't dig into it very deep, but I would ask about it and let them be open to share what it is that they want to share with you about it. And if you've got a lot of thoughts or a lot of questions, maybe wait till you get to the second or third date when you're both a little more comfortable with each other before you really dig into it. But the thing about it is, a lot of people, when they start talking about their disability, they'll actually share a lot of information with you about it. So your thing to do is to sit, listen, and learn. What if they didn't tell you up front and you don't think this is something you can handle? Well, if you think this is something you cannot handle, then it may be a good idea for you to end the date, not abruptly, not rudely, and don't go to the bathroom and leave them hanging, please. No, please remember that I have shared with you not to do that. But just like if you were on a date with a person who did not have a handicap and they hit a bunch of your deal breakers, I would suggest to you also to bring that date to an end. Also, there's no need of you being tortured. There's no need of you torturing them through this. So politely bring the date to an end. And, it was nice meeting you. Okay? Or compliment something that was on the menu. However you do that, but do it nicely. And just beware that also the person who set you up is going to be following up. They're going to be wanting to know what happened. So you want to be prepared for that as well. But if you feel like it's something you can't handle, it's simple. It's something you can't handle. I think it was the last broadcast I did, or maybe the one before that. I told y'all that there's things I can't handle, especially when it comes to a person's health. And so you just want to, be ready to politely bring the date to an end. Some other things that you want to do as you're on this blind date or preparing for the blind date, you want to be positive. Also, you want to make sure that just like I tell you on any date, limit your alcohol. Limit your alcohol. If you're drinking alcohol, make it one and let that be the end. We don't want anything special to happen. And like I said earlier, be sure that you give the person your attention, deal with your telephone, be ready to laugh and have fun. Don't be worried about the chemistry, where this is going, if we're right for each other, or any of those good things. As we always say when we're talking about safety, you want to be sure that you drive your own vehicle, or you go in a vehicle and you're not allowing them to come and pick you up, because this is a person that you don't know. Granted, when your friend or whoever's setting you up said, well, this is a friend of so and so's, okay, fine. They may be a friend of somebody that you know, but you don't know this person. So I would suggest that you meet them at the venue. I'm looking over here to see if there are other questions, because I have a lot of married women that have been following me for years. And it's all good. It's all good, because oftentimes I'll share something that you might decide to try it out and see if it spices up your marriage, or at least spice up your date night. As a matter of fact, Angie, I think it's been 2 years now that I did a broadcast, and it was during I think we were in COVID, or getting close to the end of COVID. And I was sharing about how, especially the married women, needed to appreciate their husbands while we were in COVID, because these men have like been out chasing down toilet paper. They have been going to work while they're leaving the family at home, so y'all can be safe. And the thing is, they were going out and dealing with that air that everybody was trying to hide from outside the house. And I was like, y'all need to just really appreciate these men. One of my friends contacted me later on, and she said, you know what? You said that, and I jumped up and ran to my husband. So, Angie, you're in good company. So, does anyone else have any other questions? You know, this is Ask the LOVEologist, and I love to get your questions. And I also want to always answer your questions before the end of the broadcast, unless it's something that I feel like I might need to make a full video of. We have a new newsletter coming out, and it's called the Interracial Love Chronicles: Insights for Navigating Your Interracial Dating Experience. When setting up friends on a blind date, should you try to set them up with individuals that are out of their comfort zone to give them opportunity to widen out? Out of their comfort zone. I'm going to say that's going to depend on exactly what you mean by out of their comfort zone and how far out of their comfort zone. For instance, if you have a friend who's used to dating traditionally and you want to introduce them to someone who is from a different culture, if you know this person and you know them well, that would be stretching them a little bit. But in that instance also, since people don't typically talk about since people typically don't talk about being open to dating outside their culture, I'm going to suggest to you that you make sure you know that friend and know when you do this, if this is going to really make them mad or make you lose a friend. But that would be somewhat stretching someone. Another thing to do too is, before you set someone up on a date and you think it's going to stretch them or it's going to be out of their comfort zone, you might have a little casual chat with them and kind of feel them out before you do that. So I think that would just be a good way to handle that, because we as matchmakers, we are going to have that in our list of questions. And I'm definitely going to ask people that work with me, are you open to dating outside your culture? Are you open to dating someone who has a disability? What are your limitations in these areas? And, if you're a good wing woman or a good wing man, you really know what this person is really desiring in their mate. So when you can find them someone that um, can meet, let's say, 90% of their checking off their boxes, shall I say, then you will be doing a great service to them. But you also want to make sure that people are open to some things before you spring them on them. Giving them a date with someone that has a little more vibe from that person and even can help them let go and have fun. Okay. Yep. You know what? I don't think that right there is going to be so much stretching them way out of their comfort zone. I think that right there actually would be something good for people, because so many of us are stuck with our idea of what our type is. And the thing is, you will never know that your type is a little bit more, a little different until you try. And that is something that I have really come across, especially when I'm talking to Caucasian men about dating outside their culture. Until it is brought to their attention, or in some of their cases, the beauty is put right in their face, they don't realize that they actually have a different type, or their actual real type is different than what they had in mind. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. All right. Well, you know what? I see that there are several people out there, according to what YouTube is telling me right here, but I don't see several people in the chat. So if you came in a little later and you joined us, then go ahead and put in the chat what your favorite color is, because what I said earlier is we're right here in March. We have all the flowers blooming. We have all the different colors going. So tell me what your favorite color is there. And again, I want to invite you all to sign up for the newsletter. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to put the first one out because we've kind of got it written for you already. And so I can't wait to get that out there. We'll be releasing that later in the month, and you'll be getting those about twice a month for sure. And I'm excited about putting that out there for you. And if you check in the chat there, you will find the link. And let me see if I can grab it and put it in again. There it is. Yep. Okay, the tech is not wanting to work for me. So if you scroll up the chat, you'll find a link there that says 50 vibrant spots for you to connect with your forever partner. And when you select that, you should also get a video that tells you how you can get the most out of the 50 locations there. And then it's going to give you the list. And if that doesn't happen for you, be sure you let me know. But I hope that you enjoy the video that comes along with it. I'm looking over here to see if there's more questions. Well, as I said, when you go on a blind date, make sure that you go with expectations of having fun, having laughter. Don't let your face show that you have disappointment if you have disappointment. Be open to a person who is literally or physically blind, or who has a physical disability. Be ready to be pleasantly surprised and limit your alcohol so that we can have a wonderful time. Well, I don't have anything else that I wanted to share with you this evening. So again, I am April, your favorite. Did I say favorite? Your favorite loveologist. I'm a certified matchmaker, a certified love coach, the president and CEO at Authentic Love, where interracial relationships are our number one priority. I want to thank you for stopping by this evening. I look forward to seeing you next week. And by the way, go to my messenger, my inbox, drop me a question in there so that I can answer your questions, whether they be about traditional dating, interracial dating, or whatever you have on this subject that you'd like an answer to. Again, I'm April the Loveologist, and I appreciate you stopping by this evening. Bye-bye now.
April the loveologist, she's got a lesson or two. She's a love coach, a matchmaker, making dreams come true. She's a champion of interracial love, breaking down the walls. Level up your dating experience to answer love's call.